I'm Joshua Hamby, Joshua Hamby Racing YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a fork seal replacement on this 08 GSX-R600. It's a stock fork. This is our spring compression tool.
Let me get a shot of this on.
Alright, this tool me and my dad made here. This dad.
How you doing?
Yeah. Alright, so this is a tool we made to compress the spring compression tool. Alright, so first I'm going to go ahead and clamp this in a little bit. Drill this thing out. I'm going to go ahead and zero out the preload and the rebound adjusters. Alright. It's like 1.5. Alright, it's about 1.5 turns to the right. That's all the way in, so we'll see. Here's 1 turn. 2. 3, should be 3.5. Alright. So that's zeroed out. Take my fat crescent wrench here, hit it on my preload adjuster there. We're going to zero this out. It should be about like 7 turns to the left, somewhere in there. When we put it back on, we're going to go back to the standard settings, which is 7 from the softest position, 7 full turns from the left. So clockwise 7 turns, and from the stiffest position on the rebound adjuster, it's 1 3/4 turn, and also down there it's the same on the casting, they say. So we're gonna go ahead and break the torque on the cap here. Make sure we get this in there good. We'll break the torque on the cap. All right, good. It wasn't on there too bad. All right. Okay. Okay. I need to push it up, see that it's out of there. Now we're going to set up our compression tool. So now that I got that there, I'm going to line this this cap up, but drill it in the side here. All right, right here. Oop. All right. So I got it on that side. It has no pressure on the spacer right now, but I'll tighten it up just a little bit. That way it's in there good.
You don't want it to slip off?
Nope. You don't want this to slip off. Here's a warning that I didn't get. I mean, it's kind of a given that it's got compression once you pop it in, but it's got a lot. The thing popped off, it slid off of the spacer and about got us. But anyway, it's also about 35 degrees out here, so we got our space heater in the floor, and trying to keep moving around so we can rock and roll. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and compress the spring. Okay. Alright, it's far enough I can get to the nut. And you'll see it's got a jam nut right there. So we need a 14 and a 17. I don't have a 17, so I use a standard 11/16, and it's close enough. You got to break the torque here. Shouldn't be too much. Not supposed to be. Okay. So go ahead and take our cap out with our rod on there. Okay. Now I'll just pop that back down in there. Go ahead and loosen it back up. My spring as well. So what we're going to be doing is I did a set of fork seal replacement. We're also going to be servicing it. So new fork oil. Alright, what we're going to do now is drain the oil like this. Alright. An easy way to do this while you have your inner rod or your inner tube inside, just go ahead and pump it a few times. Gets a lot of the oil out. Pull the inner tube outside of the outer tube. and for draining purposes. This thing's kind of filthy on the outside, so what I'm gonna do is hit a little brake cleaner on it, or a parts cleaner, like this, and then go ahead and get any residue off of it. Gotta get some of the residue off. Residue.
Funny words.
Nasty word.
Residue.
It's like moist.
Moist.
Moist. Alright. That's about as good as it's gonna get. It's a little scratched and damaged, but that's what you get when you get a used fork. But it is straight, which is what's important. Okay. I'm gonna pop this over here in my vise. Alright. Over here, what we're gonna do is pop that in there. We're gonna get this dust cap off first. Okay. So, it was on there pretty good. Old. What I'm gonna do with this dust cap, you gotta be delicate with this type of thing. Alright, there's a retainer ring in here. Go ahead and pop out. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna pop it right here next to some other parts. Just heat up the outside. This should make our seal come out a little easier.
Plus it'll warm it up in here since it's cold.
Yeah, a little cold in here, so definitely warm us up. I go with a hammer here, but you got to be careful not to scratch the inside of it. So you hook it right up under the seal there, and just slowly pry a little bit. Okay, it should pop out. Okay, so if you don't know how the seals go back in, make sure you know which side was the top and which one was the bottom.
Yeah, what?
Although the side with the lip is kind of a given. This is the oil retaining side, and this is the top.
Okay.
It's just kind of the way that goes. I'm gonna get in here and just clean out all this stuff. There's also a retainer ring right here, or spacer.
Okay.
It's in the top. Now this is also position oriented. Let's see. All right, so there's a beveled portion, and then there's the unbeveled portion. The beveled portion goes down, sits down in there.
Okay.
So just like this. I'm gonna put it down like that. Get a little cleaning on this. All right. Now we just need a new fork seal. This is clean. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it back down in there. Okay, new fork seal.
What's the name brand of that?
All balls.
Okay.
I got it from sportbiketracker.com.
How much it cost?
They do good. It's a little over 20 bucks. Before we get the seal back in there, I'm gonna heat it up again and put a little lube on the outside of it here, so that it slips down in there. Get another little heat job on it. Okay. So we got it oiled up a little bit. I'm gonna toss it down in here. Alright.
Spring goes up.
Yep. Well, there's two springs in it actually, but alright, so it's like this. I don't have a fork seal driver, but everyone pretty much that's not a licensed mechanic has a makeshift fork seal driver.
Size of
This is a 36mm socket. It goes just right around the inside there. So I'm just gonna push it down. Around like that. Give a little tappy tap. You don't want to tap too hard. You don't want to damage it, but I'm gonna put it in here and give a little mallet tap there. That way it sits just below the ring where our retainer ring goes in. So got our retainer ring. I'm just gonna clip it in, pop it back in. All right. Next we got our where'd I put that? Dust seal. Everybody likes a new dust seal. They go bad, get dry rotted, all kinds of stuff. So this is still a little warm. It should go on in pretty easily. So, just a little tap on the edge. So, we'll take our outer tube here and set it aside. Now we'll work on our inner tube. What you want to make sure is where your outer tube's sliding over here, so your fork seal is going to rub on this. So if it has any kind of abrasions, it's going to cut your fork seal, and you're going to be right back where you started. I'm going to put this up here in the vise. Okay. Okay. I'm wiped down. The chrome you can polish, the other ones you can't, and not all of them are chrome for the 08. Also, it's the same fork system for the 06 through 10, so this will be the same thing if you have one of those. 06 through 10, GSXR600 or 750. So it has some marks on the bottom which would catch your fork seal, and that is the last thing you want. So we're going to get down to the nitty gritty down in here. See any of all the junk on it? Buff it out. And this stuff gets on there all the time. It's just the way it goes. Because this is the part that's exposed all the time. Now, we're going to service this thing. When you put your outer tube back around your inner tube, make sure it's the right way up. So, it'll be real easy when getting over the fork seal. Goes over and there. Go ahead and, okay, max it out down at the bottom there. Take it back out of the vise. Bottoming out again down here. So whatever's left in here. Okay.
All right.
So when you fill it up, we're gonna go ahead and introduce the fork oil. All right. Down here, you want it to be coming around this side, about right here, as far as you can see down in there. And then we're gonna take our dandy tool. I'll show you over here in a second. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil down in here. You can hear the air bubbles. It's sinking down in there. You hear that? Okay. It's going through all of our components here. All right. So what we're gonna do is it's settled again. We'll put more. All right. We're about where we need to be here. What we're looking for, I don't have the big rod by Motion Pro and all that stuff, so it's a little bit more messy, but it's all retaining the oil back down in there. You take your rod, all that air, you don't want air. So you pump it down, right like this, until you start to get oil. You need hydraulic pressure all the way through this motion. Okay, hear it coming through. Okay, there it is. See it come out?
Do it again.
All right, we're getting a lot of air. So now that's coming down through.
Okay.
See all that?
Mm-hmm.
No air. I'm gonna push. See right here, all the way down. Alright.
Okay.
No more air. Hydraulic pressure there. All the way down. Okay. Now we're getting the it actually went back down a good ways. So in this one we're gonna put 140 millimeters. Alright, I'm gonna make sure we got it still. All the way up, all the way down. Alright, we made our little tool here. Out of a child syringe. It's better if you get a bigger oral syringe here. some clear tubing. Actually made this part down here out of an antenna. A piece of aluminum here with a threaded piece so you can lock this down. I have it notched out every 10, you can't see it really, but every 10 millimeters up to here. So right now it's marked at 140 millimeters, which is where we're going to have it here. And it has a hole there, so if you do have the rod up, it goes around it like that. It's no need. I'm just going to put it down in here, all the way down like that, and see if we get any good stuff. Now if it sucks air, we need to put more oil in it. If it sucks the fork oil into it, we just need to keep on sucking fork oil. Okay, so we've got some fork oil there. What I'm going to do is just put it back. Fork oil there. Alright. Put it back on. Make sure it's flat there. So, still getting some oil.
What are you after here?
I'm after air. As soon as I start drawing air, it means it's at the perfect level.
Okay.
Alright, so I just keep recycling until I get just air. It's like I overfilled it a good bit. But that's what happens. If I had a bigger syringe here, it wouldn't take as long. Okay, see air? Pulled air, so that means we're at the perfect level down here. Alright. Gonna pump down in here. Make sure it's all good to go. So, looks like it is. Alright. Now here's the spring. Now this thing is also supposed to be in a certain orientation. So I'm going to get off the old oil as much as possible. They say the thinner side on the top. Can you see the top? That piece right there? It has fuzz in it.
Okay.
Okay, that piece is the thinner one goes on the top. So that's thicker. Here, this was the top. So what I'm going to do, it's got fuzz all over it. Okay. I've never seen that before. So we said thin on top, just put it down in there. Alright. Boop, 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 boop. Alright. Here's our spacer. Now, it should be obvious how this goes in. The small side, or dowel type. Boom, there it is. Alright. So now we just get our tool back here, we're going to compress it down. Alright. Okay, in lieu of the rod, I'm using this zip tie here. I'm just going to put it, thread that up a little bit and put it through right here so that I can alright, I'll put it like that, should be fine. So, I can do this. Hold it up the whole time. Because like I said, if it doesn't, then it goes down in there with it. Got my zip tie up through there. Anything else would be easier. So, think of something else. That's stupid. Alright. Keep it in. If it's down far enough to be able to get to that, then you're fine. Maintain a hold of it. A hold. Okay, so get a little thread there. Get your cap with your rebound rod. You're supposed to adjust this back, but or he did beforehand, but I'm not. So it sits on. You're just gonna spin it until it stops spinning right there. Don't torque it on or your rebound adjuster will not spin. And it'll end up looking like this. See that?
Got it.
That's what it'll look like. I don't want that. So, we got that seated. And then we take our jam nut and get it on there a little finger tight. So we're going to get it on just a tiny bit of torque. I'd say not much at all. Just until it's tight. So it's tight there. Another little nudge. It's not gonna go anywhere. So, what I would check, if I were you, before you release the spring and put it back together, is test to see if your rebound adjuster spins. Okay, good spin. Okay, I backed all the way out.
Yeah, so no. So
I didn't even take it off. So I'm just gonna line this up and go ahead and decompress it. I'm gonna move fork up here. This out of the way. Where's this at? Okay. Now, this also doesn't require much torque, so get your fat crescent. Get on there. Put this thing back on. Okay, right there, and then I'll give it a little nudge. The stock settings for these things are standard by Suzuki manual. Is makes your rebound out to the right, and it's 1 3/4 from the stiffest. So 1 and then 3/4. That's your standard position. Preload is 7 turns from the softest. So we're maxed out soft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna give it one more. I'm gonna use this microfiber here. Dust off the edges. So I'm gonna do this. Give it a little test. Okay. Oh well. Good seal. This fork's done. Alright, this is Joshua Hamby Racing. Subscribe, stay tuned for the next event.